Hello and welcome to Horseshoe this cold and frosty October morning. What we're doing today, we're going to run the nets through the stock ponds. It's not a full sort of netting, we're just going to get a few samples. We need to send some off to be health checked for future sales and just make sure everything's alright with them. So we'll be running the net through the 3 ponds and basically just having a look at the fish, see how they're getting on. We'll show you a few of the fish because, like I said, we have got plenty and we will be hoping to sell a few this year. So if you like what you see and you're after a few fish, give us a shout and yeah, we'll see how we get on.
Brand new pond. Obviously, this is the first time it's been netted. We're all really proud of it. This has all been done on site. It's quite good, really. The guys have been monitoring the oxygen, all the key things. The planting was really important. It's a lined pond, but the benefits of planting, obviously, we go on about it all the time. It's an isolated pond, so we know we can treat this as a separate entity, if you like. As you can see, they're bred really, really well. There's thousands and thousands, probably 300, 400 pound weight of these in here. And this is the start of things to come. Now we can really crack on because we've got loads of potential. We've got more ponds, there's a nice little fully scaled and all that. They're all there. What it means is, like I was just saying, in a lot of these ponds where they're not fed, and this is why it's important, if you've got ponds that are really nutrient rich, you can look how immaculate these are. Quite often, if this wasn't, if there was no food going in here, these fish would have gone back a step. They'd have been really, really lean, simply because the sheer volume of tiny fish is dictating what's going on with the biomass. So basically, because the guys have been feeding them, we've got an aerator on, it's a nice balance. So you've got these immaculate fish. Yes, we've got a lot of commons, but we're always going to have a lot of commons, which isn't a problem. But yeah, absolutely immaculate. Nice chunky fish. But obviously we can't leave all these in here. There's actually quite a few mirrors amongst them. So what we can do, when it gets a little bit colder, we'll empty a pond at the top, and then we'll take the fish out of there and sell a few, put a few in the Carp Society waters, and then we'll move a lot of these small fish up there, and we'll obviously move some on, and then carry on. But you can't just leave these ponds like this. If you left it another year, it'd be absolutely ridiculous, because a lot of people think, oh, in another year there'll be exercise. They won't, because the biomass, the total weight of fish will just get too great, regardless of if you reach a point where, even with feeding, even with aeration, it'll just go bang. And it's not these you normally lose, it's the bigger fish. It's worth bearing in mind with all your little stock pond shenanigans. But yeah, so credit to the boys, they've done a great job keeping an eye on it and constantly feeding it. And now we've got fish like this coming through.
That's the one that we're in the middle stock pond.
Lovely Carp Society fish. Yeah. Worth noting as well, these fish in this pond has never had any fish meal pellets go into it. It's only cereal pellets. You know, you can't ask for more from a pond when you get a maximum amount of fry. You can't have any more fry. It's full of fry. The fish are nice and fat, healthy, nice and broad. And like I say, considering the amount of fry in here, you're not putting 5, 6, 7% body weight through these fish. You know, it's little and often. Carl comes out every day and feeds them little and often. And I think you'll see perfectly healthy fish, no arguments on them. Really keeps things very, very simple, as everywhere. No chemicals, no fish meal, nothing. It's simple fishery management. And the results are there. Nice chunky carps. Bang on. So we had a great morning netting the stock ponds here at Horseshoe. As you can see, we've got stacks of lovely commons, which we've done obviously fantastically well in Farriers. I think Farriers has done what, a dozen 40s in the last few weeks, probably more than that now. But, yeah, we've got plenty of this sort of size. We'll be selling some of these this winter. We've got a few orders already. We've got stacks of small fish coming through. So every year now, Carp Society are going to be producing their own fish to obviously go back in the lakes. And to sell a few, you know, and give a few to local angling clubs to fry, to grow on and use in their own lakes and bits and pieces. Plus we've also got tench as well, which we're making an effort to bring the tench on. There's always been tench in Horseshoe and Farriers, so we've got a nucleus of fish in the stock pond which we're growing on, and they're doing really well. There's some bigger ones as well. And again, we're selling a few of these this winter. These are going off for a health check, not these big ones, but the tench and the carp are going off for a health check tomorrow morning. And then we'll start to sell them when it gets a bit colder, probably November time onwards. But yeah, if anyone wants any, just get in contact with Miles. We'll go back for another year, these. But yeah, very pleased. They're all clean, there's no argillus on them and anything. They're just lovely clean fish, just real simple stuff. Nice chunky fish, nice and thick. So yeah, it's been a really productive morning.